All right, guys, let's see if we get anything out of retail sales numbers here this morning. Again, we got 15-minute charts almost everywhere. Now we've got it everywhere. All right, numbers are in. Dollar index pushing a little bit here. Euro coming down slightly. Gold down to 2030. Mostly unchanged so far. Let's have a look at the numbers. Also, what is going on with my color theme? There we go. Okay, let's see what we get in terms of numbers. Okay, retail sales came out hotter than expected, both in the core and month-over-month headline. That's a little bit of an uptick in retail. And honestly, this still supports, in my opinion, a decent stock market move. Think about it. Companies seeing retail sales healthy is not bad at all for stocks. I don't think that threatens, and that would make sense why we're not seeing a big drop here, right? Retail sales staying steady. That's perfectly fine for businesses, right? Dollar indexing a little bit of strength, and that would make sense, right? The consumer hanging in there is decently good for the dollar index. The gold market coming down also makes sense. Why? Economic resiliency, usually not super bullish for gold, right? Gold typically spikes and moves higher on economic fears, right? So today we're getting the opposite, economic strength. So probably decent for stocks, not great for gold, good for the dollar. So if you're a dollar bear, this might actually produce some opportunities. So we'll now get over to the charts and take a look and see. Again, we talk about this often, but the real, in my opinion, way to trade is when it comes to news events is to trade the aftermath. Don't trade the actual spike. The euro did pop higher and then now came back, but be very careful with this, guys. I do want to warn people who are trading the euro. We have the ECB's Lagarde speaking here, press conference coming in. Of course, that will likely cause some serious volatility, as the Federal Reserve one did yesterday. Chandler, can you just let me know, do we have Emily in the building? I think she's here, but I just want to make sure. So again, euro is pushing higher on the day. I still think. How's that pound trade? Pound trade took a little bit of a hit on that. I'm still bullish, okay, cool, we're good. And I want to see in terms of setups here today with the algorithm where we're at. US 30 still bullish, NAS still bullish, love to see that. SPX bullish, gold timidly bullish. I say timidly because technically it's a neutral reading, but it's on the cusp of being a bullish one. Let's flip it around, see what's bearish on the day. Nothing bearish on the day, interesting. So we're getting US 30 still very bullish, NAS very bullish or bullish, Euro Aussie bullish, pound dollar still getting that nice bullish reading. I like to see this. So we're staying on the bull side of pound dollar currently. And I do need to trail a stop at a point. So I may do that on camera or off camera. I'm not sure just yet because it's not like threatening to close me out or anything. But if I drop down to like a 4-hour chart, got a nice push here. It's probably time to at least trail a stop a little bit into profit.
Want to stay up to date with all the latest trading information? In the description below, you'll find the link to join our free Discord. The Discord gives you instant access to lots of helpful material like free trading courses, chart analysis, updates about what's happening in the A1 community, as well as discount codes for our other products and services. The best part, all of this and more is 100% free. So go down in the description below this video and check it out for yourself. If you're interested in upgrading to the full VIP Discord featuring our team of expert trader signals, you can use the live chat link in the description to get connected with one of our team members in seconds. So don't wait, go check out the free Discord today.
So yeah, again, we entered pound USD a few days back. That dollar bearish thesis did really play out well yesterday. It's following through here today. And with the Bank of England this morning holding rates steady and that out of the way. By the way, So I admittedly am not super familiar with this, but this is the official bank rate votes from the MPC, Monetary Policy Committee Conference. Not actually sure. This vote is reported in an XXX format. The first number is how many voters increase interest rates. The second is how many voters decrease rates, and the third is to hold. Okay, so 3 said hike, 0. Ooh, okay, so a bit of hawkishness in this number. So let me read this now. Now that I'm understanding this, 3 members voted to raise rates, 0 members voted to decrease rates, and 6 voted to hold rates. That is more hawkish than what was expected. I like that for my pound position. Again, the Bank of England coming out with a little bit of hawkishness here today. Makes sense why we're up yet again on the day. And I just want to say my entry was pretty dang close to getting stopped out. I joined this trade here at 1.2540 approximately. Price came all the way down. My stop was here. And we were able to stay in it, but it was really, really close.
I have one position open at the moment on euro pound, not dollar. Yeah, I've had one position open at the moment on a retest this level, looking to see if we can take advantage of some euro pound, some downside, which was kind of funny because we had pound and euro interest rates today. So it was going to be a little bit exciting. It almost took me out at one point, but still sitting in the trade, looking to see if we can get a follow through of this bearish move we had a couple of weeks ago. Really, really big move. So simply I'm looking at the continuation of that. I haven't really been too active with the dollar pairs. I also took a trade yesterday on Swiss yen. Luckily for me, FOMC did come through a little bit there, but a lovely move there to downside. I'm still pretty bearish on the yen pair, so I'm actually keeping an eye on more yen pairs for some pullbacks to look for some more shorts, really. I think pound yen, CAD yen could be interesting if I can see some break of the lows. In terms of dollar, I think the ship has kind of sailed a little bit for me. There was nothing really setting up for any entries or anything. I was looking to see if I can short Aussie if we can break for the lows, but we didn't do that. We broke higher, and especially with DXY pushing like we did, breaking for the lows, I'm 100% back bearish again, looking for more of that to continue. So I think the best dollar pair for me would be Euro USD, but that one's a little bit far away. So I'm wondering if we can have a bigger pullback. The only area that looks feasible for me to buy would be this area here at 1.082. So if I can see a pullback to that, I would anticipate some more upside and look for some entries. But again, after FOMC yesterday, the price is really, really pushed on. And I'm wondering if we would just kind of continue with that momentum back to the highs. So maybe I miss out on that. But yeah, in terms of dollar, I'm pretty bearish. But like I said, I'm not really seeing any opportunities at the moment. Things can change, but even gold, big move to the upside for that one. So I don't really have an opportunity there. So I'm more focused on the yen pairs and just sitting in my euro pound trade.
The last time we spoke, Miko, I think you were looking at silver. Are you, did you take any trades on silver? Did you catch any of that? I tried to buy silver, I think right around the time that we talked about it. I had this idea that, well, we basically had this kind of trend line breakout, price pulling back to support here. And I tried to buy it and totally got whacked on that one. I was completely off on it. Did you get any trades, or have you been looking to trade gold, silver specifically?
Yeah, I'm actually more focused on silver than gold. I think there's a lot more room to the upside for silver because gold's kind of at the all-time highs already. So I think I'm still pretty bullish on both of them, but silver to me has got more room to flow with. So I'm more focused on silver. So yeah, I'm still looking to long silver. But yeah, like I said, I was very, very bearish. So I was lucky enough to stay out of position. I was more focused on some other pairs at the time because we were bleeding to the downside. But now we've seen a bit of life come back in. So I'm interested in looking to long. I don't quite have a level which I'm interested in buying just yet. So I'm kind of just keeping one eye on silver. I think maybe this one could set up for me for next week. But I kind of want to see price starting to play some structure in and some higher highs and higher lows because we've just seen a big move. Sometimes they could be deceiving. Sometimes we might see a big move and the market comes straight back down. So I wanted to actually start creating some bullish structure. Then on a retest somewhere, then I could be interested in taking it back up again. But yeah, I'm still very bullish on silver. I'm looking for us to come back into 26 and longer term 28 up there. So I'm gearing up for some buys, but nothing quite set up for me just yet.
Sure, yeah, and I kind of feel the same way in terms of the metal side. I know I've caught the indices pretty decently well this last few months, but I've really missed out on the metal side. I think, at some point you kind of just have to say you miss some, you gain some. At the end of the day, you're not going to catch them all. It's kind of painful because I missed on both my attempts on the metal side. I went long gold here thinking that this was just kind of crazy price action and that overall the trend should hold. I was wrong about that. I bought silver on a deeper pullback. It went wrong against me again. So I've been taking some losses alongside the really good trade that I still have going on in the S&P, which just, again, seems like the only thing I can get right now. That and the pound are the only ones that are treating me decently, but it'll be interesting to see. I want to ask you guys, Marco, again, I mentioned this, that I think a lot of risk sentiment is coming back into the markets. A lot of people have been parked out in money market accounts. A lot of people are just keeping cash on hand. They've done that for some time as people were really afraid of all the rate hike stuff, and a lot of people completely missed a lot of the rallies that happened this year in risk on assets, especially, the dollar drop, stock market runs, even Bitcoin. A lot of things have seen some change. When you look at something like the indices, what do you think? Do you think that this is overdone? Do you think it can keep going? I'd love to see what you think on like SPX or NASDAQ or Dow, whichever you'd like to look at. I'd just be curious to hear your thoughts.
Let me do the SPX.
Okay.
Let me open that one up. It's 500. So let's go to the daily. For me, it's looking extremely bullish. When I see this sort of momentum in Forex, because that's what I focus on, I'm expecting more upsides. So this is showing absolutely zero signs of slowing down. If you're doing support and resistance, sure, it may struggle here on the top a little bit, but looks like it broke out of this major high and it's just going. It did not even retrace. So if I look at the momentum, I'm just seeing bullish legs all over the place. Am I seeing any selling pressure? Absolutely not. So this to me looks like a perfect trend. And usually these ones continue much more than this. So I would not be surprised if something like this happens, because it's showing me zero signs it's gonna slow down.
Yeah, and it's I guess one of the big reasons for that is yesterday, the simple idea was yields just dropped off a cliff. And this showed you just how much the market was listening to what the Fed was kind of saying. And they've kind of consistently said, we're not rate cutting anytime soon. Suddenly, that changed. And that drop in yields is clearly what is driving things like the NASDAQ and the S&P. The Dow, I think, reached an all-time high today. It is at an all-time high while we are talking, which is kind of a crazy thing to think about. Miko, do you have any thoughts on the indices? I don't remember if you trade them ever or not, but they've just been crazy. Do you have any thoughts on them?
Yeah, I don't trade indices, but a lot of my subscribers ask me to check them out. So I frequently do look at indices quite often. But yeah, everything's looking bullish for the indices. As you said, US 30 new highs for this one. US 100 coming back to the prior major swing highs. I wouldn't be surprised if we were to go and pierce through them as well, because the key characteristic is the momentum, as Marco was touching upon. It's not like we're slowly pushing to the upside, like grinding high. We're really pushing. So I think we're going to see all-time highs again for this one and for S&P as well. I think that was just going to copy and paste what US 30 did. I think we're probably going to take up the highs there as well. Sure, there probably will be some pullbacks on the lower time frames, but yeah, I don't think anything too crazy. But yeah, I'm expecting new highs as well for S&P. So everything is looking extremely bullish from the indices side of things. So I would be shocked if it were to turn around suddenly. But yeah, trade's looking very, very good, Nick.
Well, and one thing to think about, guys, is whether you trade it or not, it actually has a huge impact on the currency side of things as well. Even from a purely technical standpoint, if you're looking at the S&P 500, you see, well, this thing is trending very well higher. Right now, what that would usually entail with this market environment is that the dollar is probably weakening. The dollar is probably weakening because expectations for rate cuts are what's going to get the market to move like that on the stock side of things. So it carries over to the currency side. Another chart that I think is really interesting right now, and both of you guys mentioned yen pairs a little bit. What do you guys think of UJ on the daily time frame? The daily time frame specifically, because this is something that for the longest time when we would do these technical Thursdays, it was just market trending higher, dollar yen, never ending uptrend. And suddenly the very high level, top level fundamentals is the Bank of Japan seems like they might want to raise rates. Meanwhile, here's the US talking about cutting them. Those two things alone, real simple, changed the fundamental story, and the technical story seems to be changing as well. So, Marco, what do you think about UJ specifically, like on the daily time frame?
Sure.
How would you approach that?
So let me open that one up. UJ on the daily. So for me, this on the top was like a perfect ascending channel. Now, I'm not sure exactly how this pair moves because I do not trade it live and every pair is a little bit different. But usually in Forex, when I see this, just the highs barely being broken with a lot of weakness, I'm expecting downside. So I'm expecting a reversal. And then the confirmation would be this bearish leg right now. So yeah, for me, if I had to pick a direction, I would say this will just melt to the downside. This is a super clean ascending channel and it's showing me major weakness to the upside. So usually after these very, very clean ascending channels, you get a major downtrend like this. So, and as you said, the fundamentals are behind it as well. And if I just gauge the momentum, look at this leg, it's major selling pressure, and compare these legs to the bullish legs that we had right here, which were very, very weak. So that's my analysis. It's going to go down more. At least the probabilities are telling me it's going to go down more, but again, no one is sure what will happen.
Yeah, and
so let me see it on a bit of a larger scale. Yeah, so this was a large ascending channel right here. So I would expect this to go down a lot more. 100%.
One thing I think that's really interesting too, Marco, is, look at Miko pointed this out, and I'm going to ask him to take a look at the same pair in a second. Miko pointed out that when the S&P 500, it's moving just in a absolute straight line right now. Well, the yen, the dollar yen was grinding higher for quite some time. Honestly, grinding pretty quickly, but still not nearly as fast as the drop has been. And I think that that's kind of an interesting thing too. I wonder if that indicates more downside off of a higher time frame. So Miko, what do you think? UJ, again, putting in those lower lows, lower highs right now and testing a low as we speak. Do you think this thing has more downside too? I mean, I tend to think so, but we'll see if the market plays nice or not.
Yeah, I fully agree. I'm pretty bearish across the board for the yen pairs. I'm looking for some pullbacks for them. UJ, that one too as well. But the key thing for me was that 150 level, this big level here, because that's where we melted the downside last year. And then we slowly pushed higher. So the fact that we were doing that kind of grinding momentum up into such a big level, the chances were we were going to react. Now that we have seen that reaction, now it's kind of how far do we go? We've kind of broken through some confluence here as well. Let's see. There we go. Kind of broken through some confluence there as well. So in terms of probability, I'll be expecting at least 138. If we can break through that, then we can start talking about some levels there. But my analysis going forward for this one is simply just looking for the pullbacks. 4H is where I focus most of my attention on, and all I can see is lower lows and lower highs. So I'll be expecting something like that to at least 138 soon enough. But yeah, across the board, I'm pretty bearish on the yen pairs and dollar yen especially.
Don't forget to check out the links in the description if you want our broker recommendation, access to our free Discord, free Edge Finder, or want to chat with us on Telegram. Remember, you can watch us live in the markets every morning starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have lots more free trading tools and content available on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching.